Without a shadow of a doubt, it's the Cronkite Show in social media history. I want to welcome you to another episode of the WarZone. Say, man, get on the phone and tell them, Mama, that man is back on the computer. Who am I? I'm the 5-star general. You had a shooting scare today at Heights High School in Houston, Texas. But I want to go more in depth with it. And it's election time. Don't get tricked again. Let's get to it, man. Say, man, I want to welcome you to another episode of the WarZone and tell you thank you for taking the time out to tune in to your boy, the 5-star general. Because, you know, without you guys, I wouldn't have a show. And I really appreciate you taking the time out to tune in. Let's get our privacy settings right so that we can make sure that we are straight. Okay. There we go. Top of the evening to you. 5-star been out of action for a minute. That's because I got other things going on in my life. So what I want you to do, I want you to push the share button on this video, and we're going to talk a little bit about what's really going on out here in the world today. So let's go to, I'm trying to pull up a screen, so bear with me. Let's go in here and find what we need. Let's go find what we need. Okay. Bear with me for a second. And we're going to go in here and we're going to find what we need. Okay. I'm trying to pull up a screen for you guys. So just sit back for a second. Let me get the screen up and we're going to start right there. Okay. Okay, there we go. So if we push that, hold on a second. I almost got it. Okay, so we got it open. Let's get up out of here first. All right. So I'm back at you, man. How y'all doing? I'm trying to open the screen real quick. And we're going to see. Share screen. Okay, here we go. Chrome tab. Let's go here. All right, so we got this screen open for you. And we're going to roll it.
Bend your career stuck in an office. Or you can inspire students to think outside the box. You can fill the week with email chains and status meetings. Or you can fulfill young lives through hands-on learning and field trips. You can stay in the corporate job you have today. Or you can become a certified teacher with Teachers of Tomorrow. You can choose work that's worth it. Choose teaching.
Houston police want to know who called in that active shooter hoax at Heights High School.
Yes, a story we've been following all afternoon. And Fox 26's Randy Wallace here to tell us what he's learned.
So approximately 1 p.m. 1:11 p.m. to be exactly. We got a shots fired, shooting in progress call at Heights High School. The call originally came down through Precinct 1 dispatcher, but it quickly got around to all the agencies. Officers arrived within minutes. Police didn't know at the time they arrived that the claim that 10 people were shot in room 213 was not true. The door was locked. Considering what happened recently in an active shooter, we breached the door. We went in and we immediately started searching because we want to make sure our kids are safe and okay? So again, I said nobody's hurt out here, okay?
The school was on lockdown, and police told worried parents where they needed to go to get their kids. After the original call came in, law officers from several law enforcement agencies descended on the campus, keeping parents and others blocks away. Thankfully, every parent here should be thankful this was not an active shooter. And be thankful for all the things that your kids are going to be fine, they're okay, and that law enforcement was here to do its job. So parents, we appreciate how concerned you are. We're parents. So we feel your pain, we feel your angst, we feel your everything that you feel, we feel with you.
I do want to let you know how this call actually came into HISD. It was a fight in progress. There was actually not a report call of an active shooter on our end. We received that information from HPD. We immediately have actual campus officers on campus. They immediately started to search the building. And then, of course, the additional resources came to help us clear the building. Again, the all clear has been given. No students are injured. We will continue to investigate this bogus call that came in with HPD.
Hold on a second, y'all. Oh, no. I don't want to do that. Hold on. All right. So there you have it from the powers that be. So I'm going to go into this. And, they were getting kids out the building. They was cleaning floors, getting kids out the building. And some ain't right. It's a dead cat on the line with this one. The other day, I was at a school and they went on lockdown because supposedly they had a gun up in there. And they told us that we were not to open the door, no matter who came to the door. If they needed to get in that room, they would have a key to get in that room. I watched the video earlier of them. Somebody posted it on Twitter, and I saw the teacher open the door from the inside. It's a dead cat on the goddamn line. At the school the other day, according to the training that they got, that door should not have been opened from the inside. So here's my question. What if that was a shooter at the door acting like the police? It's a dead cat on the line. See, everybody want to make rules and everybody don't want to follow the rules that they make or abide by the training that they got. That don't sit well with me. And they told us when we were in that little room that we needed to get under the table. I wasn't getting up under no table. As soon as I heard that first gunshot, I'm coming up out that window. But let's go back and let's analyze this. Let's analyze this. Now, y'all, I'm leaning back because today I had to get shots in my back and all that. So 05 stars in pain. So bear with me. Let's go look at this dead cat on the line. Let's look at this dead cat on the line. Law enforcement wants to celebrate that no kids were hurt. They did what they were supposed to do. They showed up in a matter of minutes and they went through the building and they did what they were supposed to do. What has been put in place? What has been put in place to make sure that no guns end up on these campuses? Now, I want you to understand that at Heights High School, the trustee, school board trustee that's over that school was one of those people that wanted to get rid of school police. Seems like you needed them today. Seems like we want to get rid of the cops under certain circumstances, but under certain circumstances, we need them there in a matter of minutes. This ain't about back in the blue. This is about having common sense. This is about having common sense. Now, are there different rules for different schools? Because could have been an active shooter on the campus that I was on that got locked down. But as they cleared the floors, they didn't let kids out of school. They didn't send kids to an alternate location for their parents to pick them up. Those kids had to sit in that school. They had to sit in that school. Rather than beat up the system that I know is not going to change, I want to enlighten them and you that there is not enough safety precautions in place to make sure that somebody doesn't breach our campuses, and to make sure that guns from the outside don't make it to the inside. There's not enough that has been done to make sure that that happens. So if there was an active shooter and it could have went off in the 7 minutes, you say you had people there, what would have happened in those 7 minutes if there was an active shooter? We're having another press conference. We're apologizing to the families. We got the whole city and the state in an uproar again. When are we going to use common sense to say that we have to do everything in our power to protect our campuses and to protect every single person on that campus? When are we just going to admit that and just be real about it? Because we're not being real right now. What we're doing is we're playing the law average. We're playing the law average. I want to read some of these comments as we're getting them. Push the share button on the video. DeMel, if I'm saying your name wrong, please forgive me, sweetheart. She said, say it again. Stacy Campbell. I'm a teacher at a local high school near Heights. My colleagues and I were coming back from lunch when we saw no less than 20 police cars zipping and zooming. The last car we saw was HISD police, and it was the officer from our campus. That's when we knew something was wrong. Talk about unnerving. The mail says they are conditioning the masses of the people now. They're coming for our kids. Uvalde is calming down. We have to get back to business as usual. There is not an urgency that I can see that forces us to really do something about protecting our campuses. It doesn't matter if you're from Houston, Hinesville, Georgia, Lafayette, Louisiana, no matter where you're from. What are we doing to protect our campuses? This is a different breed of dog that we're dealing with. This is copycat and this is bullying. There's so much going on the campuses that they're not addressing things the way that they should. People are so worried about suspending kids and you're handcuffing administrations and not allowing them to get rid of the bad seeds, send them to alternative school, or the hell, put them out and let them go find them another school district or a charter school to go to. See, but the charter schools are smart. They want to see your disciplinary record when you're bringing your child to their school, because if they don't like what they see, they don't let your kid in. But they're still getting public funding. Our tax dollars go to these charter schools who can turn our bad seed kids away in the matter of a heartbeat. But are we doing everything we need to do to protect our campuses? Hey, Christy. Man, y'all don't know, but Christy Havel is a good friend of mine. And every time I get sick, this lady just comes through and does so much for me. I want to tell her thank you for all that she's ever done for me. And we in what we call the polka dot family. She's a very educated Caucasian woman, and I'm a very educated African American man that just want to see kids do great. It is what it is. Yeah, I know. Heights is one of your schools, Christy. I think that we have to, and as you notice, I'm not beating up anybody. What I'm saying is the truth, that we have to do everything in our power to secure our campuses. We have to. Kenichi Walker says in the old days, once you were expelled, you had to go to another district. They need to bring that back. Now they just go to another school within the district. Christy says they seem to respond quickly. However, not sure about HISD response. See, this is my issue with this. They are responding quickly. They don't know if somebody's been shot. They don't know if it's a hoax. They don't know nothing. So they're responding. But what I'm saying, where is the proactivity to make sure that nothing happens? What are we doing to make sure nothing happens? You know, a lot of people don't like metal detectors in the schools. Well, I'm sorry. They actually work. They actually work. I was at a school the other day. We're supposed to have clear or mesh backpacks. And I see regular backpacks, and I questioned it. I thought this school's supposed to have clear or mesh backpacks. You know, if they bring them, we just put them in a room. And you see what I'm saying? We're cutting too many corners. We need to be proactive now so nothing actually happens. Nothing actually happens. It's a beautiful thing that nothing actually happens. It's a beautiful thing that the response was very, very quick. But I still believe in my heart that it needs to, in all actuality, something needs to be done to make sure that this type of stuff doesn't happen again. Hold on a second, guys. I want to check something. I want to tell law enforcement, thank you for being responsive. I want to tell the school police that made it there, thank you for what you did today to put some parents at ease. But right now I'm taking a class that centers around trauma. The class is trauma. It's about trauma. Do we realize how many kids may have been traumatized today by this? Do we understand the PTSD that's going to come from them being traumatized? I'm not comfortable. And the people that should be making the most noise are not making the most noise at the moment. They're not. We have to do something to make sure that nothing happens. I will tell you, the west side of town, you guys are so blessed. You have trustees that are active, and you have community meetings. In District 4, for example, Patricia Allen's district, there has not been a community meeting in the 3 years that she sat on the board. They don't want to hear from us. The black side of town, they don't want to hear from us. Our input is not important. They listen to who they want to listen to. You know, last year alone, they brought in some pastors that were supposed to help them with the fighting on the campuses. How that's working out for you? Who am I? I'm the guy that knows everything. How that working out for you? Where the pastors at right now? Because some of these schools going off. They're going off right now. And some of them been going off since the first day of school. When are we, like Christy just said, this all started with a fight. When are we going to bring in an organization that specializes in conflict resolution, where we can teach our children how to solve their differences without it even getting to the point of a fight? When are we going to do that? You got all these vendors of people, you know, these organizations that specialize in all this. But nobody can seem to come up with a vendor that specializes in conflict resolution. You know how many days I want to slap the hell out of somebody? And because I clearly understand conflict resolution, I let it go. This is what I teach kids. Some days it's better to just walk away. It's cheaper. It'll be cheaper on your family. You see what I'm saying? We need to be teaching conflict resolution, whether it's an after-school program, whether if you have in-school suspension. You see what I'm saying? But I'm like Kenitra. It's money in conflict. You can't fill up the alternative school unless you got conflict. That school can't operate. It has a budget, but it can't have that unless you have conflict. But why is this not being taught? Why is this not being taught? And as far as a doggo goes, she don't need to open her mouth when it comes to schools. She doesn't need to open her mouth when it comes to schools. So kudos to law enforcement for making sure that this was a hoax today. But parents, it's time to load up the boardroom and demand that these people put something in place to where you know when you drop your kid off in the morning, you don't have to worry about if they're going to make it home. You see what I'm saying? It's election time. Don't get tricked again. Yeah, I wanted to talk about this, man. I'm going to talk about the race between Lena Hidalgo and Alexander Miller. I've been a little quiet, so I've had time to do some research on Hidalgo. And I'm really not impressed. Young lady who was living at a mama house all of a sudden decides to run for county judge. And she wants to win. And she pulled it off. She was living at a mama house. Christy, you know when I say it, I'm telling the truth. Before Hidalgo became the county judge, fresh out of law school, don't even know if she even tried a case in the courtroom, she was living at a mama house like Jody in Baby Boy. We put an inexperienced person over Harris County. Now, whether you know it or not, Harris County is bigger, and I may get the number off, 1 or 2, than at least 36 states in the United States of America. So you take somebody who was fresh to the county, you give them this whole county, tell them to do what they needed to do. And I'm having a discussion with somebody today that wants to scream because of what happened, the hoax at Heights. This is Abbott's fault with the gun bill. Well, hold on a second. Greg Abbott signed the gun bill. How did it make it to his desk? Is Lena Hidalgo responsible in some capacity for the crime rate in Harris County going up? I believe that without a shadow of a doubt. Well, we don't want Miller because she's a Republican. I don't give a damn if they come from Mars. Lena Hidalgo needs to go. I get it that y'all are ready to be tricked again. Spread this video out. Push the share button. Some of y'all are ready to be tricked again into believing that this woman has the mental capacity to run Harris County. It's been proven in the 4 years that she was there with her failed bail reform along with her friend Rodney Ellis, that they have screwed up Harris County. The suburbs was the place to run to. Y'all know how the game went. We grew up poor. We just trying to get up out the hood. You ran to the suburbs. You done ran to the ghetto. How many murders are being committed in affluent neighborhoods that never even had a smidget of crime before her doggo showed up? They don't want me to speak on this. They don't want me to tell you the truth. I'm trying to help you not be tricked. Again, failed bail reform. That officer that lost his life a couple of weeks ago, when they caught the guys, did they not have monitors on their legs? That means they were out on bail. That means they were out on bail and they killed a law enforcement officer. How many times are we going to be tricked into believing what these BS politicians are trying to spoon feed down our throats? Alexander Miller may not be perfect, but goddamn it can't get no worse. Yeah, she's going to come in. She's going to be tough on crime. And I know there are some black people out there that are going to say they're just going to lock people up. Well, a whole bunch of these people need to be locked up. Whether they black, white, Latino, whatever. If you get one bail and you violate the terms of it, you should not get another bail. And if you do, that bail need to be this high. It's not justified. And her doggo is one of the main culprits of failed bail reform. What has a doggo done to make sure that people's houses were rebuilt due to these disasters that we've had? What has she done? Well, she tried to help a friend get an $11 million contract. So we're just supposed to look over that right now. That's our tax money. And every year that her doggo has been in office, has your taxes gone up? So answer this. Why should people continue to support failed leadership and expect different results? Why? Alexander Miller is your choice in the county judge's race. Tomorrow I'm going to talk about Carmen versus Sheila. Once again, failed leadership. Now this is the key. You have Republican opponents who are calling Democrats out to have open debates, and none of them want to debate the Republican, because all they want to do is keep blaming everything on the Republicans. But at the same time, aren't you in control? Why won't they debate? Elmo's not going to debate me. Man, I'd chew that old lady up if she did. Wouldn't even be a question if I did. So think about that. Think about it. Think about it real hard. In the county judge's race, Alexander Miller. Don't you trust somebody who was living at their mama house before they became county judge and put this woman back in there for another 4 years? Don't you trust it? Because if you do, you're going to be the sucker for the second time. Trust me when I tell you. Say, man, I'm not going to hold y'all. I'm not going to be long anymore. I'm going to be strong. Alexander Miller for county judge. And every day I am going to break one of these races down. And I'm going to tell you exactly who I think is the best candidate. And if it just so happens to be a Republican, take your ass in that voting booth where nobody knows your business and push the goddamn button. Hidalgo has to go. If she does not go, it's going to get worse. Say y'all have a good night, my friends. It's 5 Star and the WarZone.